Okay, here's my confession. One time in 6th grade I was single as fuck, so I went on Tinder and matched with this guy, and I asked him if we could meet up then smash, and he agreed, so I gave him my address and he snuck in at around 1 in the morning. He was 16 at the time and I was only 12, but I didn't care and neither did he, so we started making out and he slowly took off his clothes and mine and he put his ding dong in me, but it was really small and I'm not even sure if I lost my V card to him cause it was so small. But 3 years later I found out he was a sex offender, lol. One time when I was 15 I went to the beach with my best friend and we were there all day. I ended up sleeping over at her house and before bed I chugged 2 bottles of water. I felt very dehydrated. We were sleeping in the same bed and I fucking wet the bed. I peed so fucking much it woke me up and it was all over her too. I was panicking and didn't know what to do, so I went to the fridge, got chocolate milk and poured it all over the bed and all over her and said I spilled chocolate milk and we need to wash the sheets, and she believed me. I'm 18 now and she still has no idea. Okay, so here's is my story. So a girl at our school lies about everything. She is a pathological liar. She once told me that she moved to our school from Hawaii and that they lived in huts. She would also speak gibberish claiming it was a real language. We got a student from Guatemala who didn't speak English and this bitch would literally speak her weird ass language to him acting like it was Spanish. The new kid looked super confused. Then after a while I got sick of it and called her out on all her lies. Then she admitted to lying. Then she continued to keep with the lie, so I would keep calling that bitch out and she kept telling me that it was real. And for a bit of karma, a girl that actually lived in Hawaii came to our school, so when she told the girl her Hawaii lie she went TF no, we don't live in huts, in front of everyone, and she cried. I hate that girl so. On the first day of 6th grade I had a crush and he liked me back. He's been my boyfriend for 2 months. We met up at the park and he decided to kiss me. I kissed him back. The next day I asked my mom if my friend could come over that was actually my boyfriend. She didn't know about him. Once he got to my house my mom said he was my cousin. I've been kissing my cousin.
Okay, so one time in 7th grade I spent the night at my boyfriend's house, and we were night swimming and I had to use the bathroom, and realized I started my period. I was literally just 13, and started a few months before, and never knew how to use a tampon, so I was looking for one. Then I remembered he lived with his grandma who had already went through menopause, so I don't find anything, but I needed something, so me being the stupid effing genius, I went to the kitchen, and looked for a sponge. I found one. It was new and clean by the way, but cut the scrubby green side off, so I was just left with the yellow. Anyway, I went back to the bathroom, and shoved it up my cooch. I went back and swam. I was gone for some time, so I told him I took a shit. Anyway, we were done swimming, and I went to take a dish sponge out of my cooch, and it was so far up there I was crying.
Disgusting.
And once I finally took it out, the inside of my coochie walls were literally so torn up it felt like Gordon Ramsay himself cut up some chicken. Anyway, I was in the shower crying. I was in so much pain.
Last month I found out that my dad has been cheating on my mom with some bitch at work. My little sister was watching YouTube on his phone when we got a Snapchat notification from a girl called Babe Number 1, so she pressed on it so she can give it to my dad, and the message said, "When are you leaving them? Can't wait for you." And when I came back home I confronted him about it crying, and now I've been blackmailing him about it so I can get whatever I want, but on a promise I don't tell my mom. Anyways, I told my mom yesterday and I told her I've been using him to get what I want, and she told me to keep on blackmailing him so he can go bankrupt and go to his side hoe for help. Anyways, guess who's getting a new phone this week?
So there's this one time I asked my mother, why was you and daddy making all those noises, and she told me how she was baking a cake, so I wanted to bake a cake too, so I asked my friend to come over so we can bake a cake, and when she came she was confused. So we was just standing staring at each other naked. Next thing you know we just starting making moaning noises to bake the cake like my mom said, and she walked in on us.
I was in Walmart and I was eating a tube of Pringles and I ate them while my mom paid, but I forgot to let the guy scan them, so I walked out the Walmart and the alarm went off and I just started running because I got scared, and my mom couldn't find me because I was hiding behind the newspaper things, and the Walmart people called the police because I was missing, and when I hear them show up I thought I was a criminal, so I left my mom a note on the newspaper that said I went to Mexico to start a new life and not come looking for me, and then I took off running with my Pringles and ran for like an hour, and then the cops saw me walking down the road, so they pulled over, so I I started running again, and then they were using the car intercom thing and they told me to stop running. So when I did, I thought they were gonna put me in handcuffs and take me to jail, so I was crying and I slapped the officer in the stomach and tried to run again, but he just held me back, and when he asked me what happened to me and I told him, he started crying because he was laughing so hard. And he just gave my mom $2 for the Pringles, and he was still laughing when he left. And that's the time I was a wanted criminal.
I went to the hospital with my entire family because my grandma was dying of cancer. I was crying really hard. And my grandma said to me, "Don't worry baby, I'm going to a better place." I slapped the hell out of her and told her to stay. She died.
I was in 5th grade. We were having a Halloween party in our classroom, and our classroom was split in two with a little wall and door, but it was still in the same room. So the other teacher in the other class came over and called my teacher, and she put a movie on and said, "I'll be right back." So me and my little friends are wondering what they are doing because he's always calling her out, and then they be gone for 20 to 30 minutes. So we followed them and they went in the staff's room and nobody else was in there, so we were trying to peek through the window, but it was tinted, and one of my friends dared me to open the door and I said no because I was scared, and then they triple dog dared me, so then I just had to do it cause mama ain't raised no bitch. I was really scared, and it had been 10 minutes already, but I slowly turned the handle and it was locked, so me and
One time at lunch, my best friend wanted to make out with a boy in the bathroom and asked me to take the second girl's pass so that nobody could come to the bathrooms, and the boy's friend did the same. Then we all went to the bathroom and my friend went into the boy's bathroom, so I left her there and she said she would be back in 10 minutes. After 10 minutes I went back to the bathroom and she was still in there, so I thought she was going to get raped, so I burst in and saw my friend crying. I grabbed her arm and tried to drag her out, but then a teacher came in and detained us all as if it was a motherfucking crime scene. They told us to give them our phones and I got to go to the office, and the teacher questioned me like it was a Q&A, like bitch fuck off. Then she let me go and back to class, and I started having a panic attack.
When I was in 7th grade, I met this girl in my bus and her name was Lexi. Well, me and Lexi got really close. My middle school was divided into 3 different schools, so me and Lexi went to the same school but a different section of our school, and we also took the same bus. Anyways, one day when I was walking to class through one of the schools, I saw this cute-ass guy and I asked her about him cause she went to school with him, and she told me that it was one of her friends. And that if I wanted her to mention me to him, well, of course I want you to mention me to him, bitch, I think he's cute. Well, he sent me a little note telling me I was cute or whatever, and then we kept sending